I'd like to reconvene this special meeting of December 2nd, 2014. Mr. City Attorney, do we have anything to report out?
No, Mr. Mayor, we don't have any items from our special meeting, and for the benefit of the public, we noticed a special closed session earlier before the start of the regular meeting, which is what we're referring to. I think in a few moments we'll start the regular meeting. We're just waiting for one of our guests to arrive still.
Yeah. We'll take a couple of seconds. One of the new council-elects is MIA, but en route, so we'll wait a few seconds for him. It's MIA, yes, Scott. Missing action information. For some of you that may be wondering why there's only three of us up here, one of our council members, Bill Bro, got sworn into the California Assembly yesterday and cannot serve on two elected bodies. And this morning at about 11:30-ish, Mayor Lisa Bartlett got sworn in as the 5th District County Supervisor, and the same rule applies to her. So she gets to look at us from the audience. It's a different viewpoint, isn't it? Don't have to do anything.
Mayor Weinberg, if I could, Mr. Bro called me at about a little before 5 o'clock this evening and wanted to assure me that he'd be working in his office in the state capitol past 5 o'clock to date, so my tax dollars were at work. But he did want to thank everybody for your support over the last 4 years and how much he looks forward to representing you in Sacramento. And he said, please, if he can be of any help to anyone in Dana Point or in his area, to please reach out to him, and he would be sure to do that. So again, he wanted me to pass along those remarks.
Thank you.
Along the lines of the observation that we are now down to 3 council members, one of the informational matters I was going to discuss once we started the meeting, which I can just do now, is that it kind of creates an interesting series of issues for us as it relates to voting. And typically, it takes 3 affirmative votes to pass a resolution or an ordinance, and that's because it takes a majority of the governing body, which happens to be 3 for us. Now that our governing body is down to 3 people for the next hour or half hour, it takes 2 members to pass a resolution or an ordinance. When we get to the point of reorganizing later on in the evening, we'll have an interesting situation because we'll not have a mayor, and we won't have a mayor pro tem anymore. So staff's suggestion is that the city clerk commence the meeting by calling for nominations at that time, but that'll be up to the newly seated council to determine how they want to handle that. But it's just sort of an unusual situation since we won't have a presiding officer at that point.
Thank you.
You know, Mayor, what I would suggest is, so I don't have to invite Matt Sinacori up to start juggling to entertain the crowd, why don't we go ahead and get started, and then I'm sure Mr. Tomlinson's been delayed in traffic because of the weather, so we can get on with the business of this council, and then if he's still not here, then what we can do is take a slight pause while I ask Russ to send the deputies out to look for him.
That's what the man in the suit does, isn't it? Okay. So I will call to order the regular City Council meeting of December 2nd, 2014. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg. We also have in attendance our Councilmember Olvera and Councilmember Schoeffel. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no closed session items on the regular meeting. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will lead for the last time for a while, and then go into the invocation that will be led by OCFA Chaplain Jeff Herschel. Please rise. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to pray on our behalf. God, on a night like tonight, thank you that there are deputies, firefighters, work crews that are keeping our city safe and moving well. We ask that you would bless us with rain in all the right places and deny rain in all the places that would make it slide. And we thank you for this great city of Dana Point, and thank you for that it is such a great place for so many people to come and enjoy. We thank you. It's in your powerful name I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and I will miss your invocations, and I thank you again for both invocations here and at OCFA. You're welcome. Now we have presentations and proclamations. The business of the month, Sears Pediatric and Family Medicine. Robert, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg, members of the City Council. I'm pleased to announce the business of the month for December 2014, Sears Pediatric and Family Medicine. Tonight we are joined by Dr. Bill Sears, Dr. Bob Sears, and Dr. Bob Sears' wife, Cheryl Sears. Sears Pediatric started in 1985 and was started by Dr. Bill Sears. In 2001, they moved to their new location located in Capistrano Beach. Dr. Bob Sears started off working under his father's practice and opened his own practice at the same location 6 years ago. In addition to his practice, Dr. Bill Sears still operates his original practice, working part-time and splitting his office time with fellow doctors. Sears Pediatrics focuses on general pediatrics and serves both vaccinated and non-vaccinated children. With few options for non-vaccinated children, families come from all over Orange County and other counties for their services. Building on the traditional services, Dr. Bob Sears has also integrated a more natural and holistic approach to his practice and also specializes in family nutrition and promoting healthy family living. In addition to the time spent at their practices, Doctors Bob and Bill Sears are also notable authors and have written a number of books focusing on topics such as pregnancy, child rearing, nutrition, behavior, and vaccinations, to name a few. Doctors Bob and Bill Sears' knowledge in these fields also provides parents with a tremendous help when they are researching and navigating the wide range of options when it comes to vaccinations, eating, and caretaking for their children to provide parents with the best knowledge and decision options when raising their children. On behalf of the City Council, I would like to congratulate Sears Pediatrics and Family Medicine on being selected Business of the Month for December 2014 and thank them for taking good care of our community. We wish you many years of continued success and prosperity.
Thank you, Robert. Is it Dr. Sears plural or singular? It's here tonight. Both of them? Would you please join me at the podium? Well, on behalf of the City Council and our past mayor, who actually selected you, I thank you for all you do for the community. I gather you're a great asset in Capitol Beach and the surrounding areas, and we appreciate that. So I'd like you to say a few words about your practice and a little bit about your history, and then I'd like to give you a proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. It's been a privilege to be a small-town doc, and what a small town it is to be the doc. And thank you all for your support. Again, we hope to be here many, many years, and my goal is to be able to see your grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Yeah, thank you again for this honor, and I'll be here a little bit longer than Dr. Bill will probably, so I'll see your great-grandchildren. Right? Thank you very much.
Is that an over-under bet? If Heather Johnson from the chamber would like to join me, I'd appreciate it. How you doing, Heather? Heather Johnson's the CEO of the Dana Point Chamber of Commerce and would like to give an award or a proclamation to the Sears.
Just a big hug.
A big-
Just want to say thank you for protecting our children in Dana Point, as well as being a chamber member. You guys are an asset to our community. Thank you again, and congratulations.
Well, as I said before, on behalf of the Dana Point City Council, our ex-mayor, now supervisor of Orange County, I'd like to give you this certificate of recognitions, the Sears Pediatrics and Family Medicine, featured Business of the Month, December 2014, signed by Lisa Bartlett, Mayor of Dana Point. Thank you. That's what they all say. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Now I'd like to have Doug Shopkavies join me in presenting the Employee of the Month for the month of December. Doug?
Thank you, Stephen. Tonight's a very special night, and we had to resort to a little trickery to make tonight happen. So what I'm going to do is, our Employee of the Month is Francis Kane. So Fran, why don't you come on up here and join me? Come on, Francis. Now, the reason we had to resort to a little trickery, and I had to have my wife come and sit next to Francis so she wouldn't know it, because Fran's one of those people. She always hates it when I say this, but Fran is 95 going on 48. And over 30 years ago, Fran lost her husband, so she decided she better go to work. So she went into the workforce for fun, to keep herself preoccupied when most of us are leaving the workforce. Recently, on her 95th birthday, we tricked her into going down and seeing Sandy Hutchins, our sheriff. And at that meeting, Francis, Assistant Sheriff Lee Trujillo was there, as was Lieutenant Shelton. The sheriff recognized Fran for over 25 years of service as a volunteer in Dana Point Police Services. So Francis, not in addition to volunteering, she's been holding the city manager's office together for a like number of years, and I don't know what we would do without her. And she's always the lady who sits in the corner and makes sure that we're all taken care of. And she does it so well. So with that, Mayor, I'd like to pass the microphone to you so you can say a few words. And then what I'd like to do is invite her family up to pose for a photo. So
It'd be my pleasure. Fran, I don't know what I can say. You are one of the corners of this city. You're one of the pillars of this organization. On the proclamation, if I remember right, you've done over 10,000 hours of VIP service. And for the last, few years, you've been pitch hitting in the city manager's office. I hope when I'm as young as you, I have the vitality and the vigor and the wherewithal to make all of us smile and do whatever you do to make that happen. I would like to give you this proclamation that you can hang wherever you think is appropriate. that it's got a lot of whereases. You know, Fran started in the city in '97. We weren't even a city, were we?
Not 18.
Oh, it wasn't 1897, was it? But Fran, you know, I mean, it says it all when it says Fran's outstanding work ethic, dependability, and knowledge as a long-term employee of the city and its departments has been a valuable asset. And all I can say is on behalf of the city council, mayors that you've served under, city councils that you've helped under, you deserve this probably as much as anybody I know over my tenure with the city. We appreciate it, and I look forward to another 100 years with you. Definitely.
You know, the special thing about Fran is she retired from this, but she still works for us for 3 afternoons a week. And she says, Doug, is it time for me to retire from working for the city? I said, no, Fran, when it's time, I'll fire you. So what I'd like to do is invite Fran's family up. So Susan, Shelby, Shelley, Brian, come on up. I'd like all the department heads to join us and for the council members to come down. And Lisa, come on up here, or Supervisor Bartlett, if I may. And let's get in the middle here and pose for a picture. We're going to have to sort of squeeze in really tight, like we like one another.
I was thinking I could get
Diane, do we need to?
Okay.
Get a copy of that from Lisa, from Kathy.
Yeah, they handed me one. Yeah.
Before we continue with the consent calendar, Mr. City Attorney, do we have anything to add?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We have 2 issues that came up. One arose this morning and the other one came up yesterday that, in my opinion, require action for our next meeting. So I'd like to recommend that we add those items to the agenda. The first one involves there's a staff report for the public if you choose to add it to the agenda. And in essence, it deals with reaffirming an existing city policy in connection with disabled use of the funicular on days when it's otherwise closed. The second item involves an emergency that we learned of this morning involving a collapsed storm drain, and the city's councils need to authorize funding to address that issue. So you can take those as one item or take them each if you prefer, but I'd ask that you add those to the agenda, and we can do them perhaps immediately before the consent calendar.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to add these 2 items?
Second.
Call for the vote. All in favor, or do we need a roll call?
Either way, Mr. Mayor. So Carlos Olvera,
Aye.
Councilmember Shovel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg?
Aye.
Thank you. 3-0. Sorry.
Whatever is fair at
So,
this
Mr.
late
Mayor,
date.
my suggestion then is that item 1A to the agenda for discussion be consideration of a resolution reaffirming the city's policy related to disabled use or use by disabled persons of the funicular on days that it would otherwise be closed. And then the second item, which could be 1B, would be a discussion of authorization of funding for emergency storm drain repairs in the Lantern District.
And if I could, on the second item, we would ask for funding not to exceed $250,000, and Mr. Fowler has assured me it'll be a lot less, but due to the emergency nature of the storm drain repairs, we want to make sure that we have sufficient funding.
But from a Brown Act perspective, I think it's important that, at the moment, we're just identifying that those are the agenda items. I think, given the fact that the public hasn't had a chance to see them, we should give brief staff reports on each. And I think also you might ask if there's any public comment on either of those at this time.
Let's do the staff report, and then somebody, if anybody has any public comments, we'll give you a second to fill out the form or fill it out after the public comment. So why don't we give a staff report on the policy, which is 1A?
Correct. So there are staff reports floating around for members of the public who might like to have them. In essence, the situation is this. In 2009, well, let me back up. As part of the Headlands development, the Headlands Reserve LLC was required to build the funicular and dedicate it to the city. In 2009, the city adopted an ordinance that set the hours of the funicular consistent with the requirements of the Coastal Commission that went along with the Headlands Development and Conservation Plan. The hours of operation are from Memorial Day through Labor Day, 7 days a week, sunrise to sunset, and the rest of the year, the non-summer hours, on weekends and holidays only, again, sunrise to sunset. We have had a policy since the operation began whereby members of the public who might be disabled and might want a higher level of access than they would otherwise have call and simply ask that the funicular be run on winter days when it would otherwise be closed, so midweek. We've had a number of folks call and take advantage of the policy. All they have to do is ask, and if they give us adequate notice, we go down and we turn it on for them. To provide notice of this opportunity, there's a sign on the funicular building that sets the hours of operation and a handful of other rules related to the operation of the funicular. For instance, no pets and things like that. And then at the bottom it says, for further information, call this number. People have actually been able to use that number very successfully. The staff report gives an anecdotal story about we have a gentleman in town, it happens to be right now, he's been here for the last couple of weeks. Before he came to town, he called and asked, and so for the last 2 weeks it's been running. He was here last year, did the same thing, so it's worked out quite well. The resolution before you really wouldn't do anything new by design. It's just reaffirming the existing policy. The only differences, which we don't particularly see as substantive, are that we are going to ratchet up the notice by putting a sign on the funicular building that gives more clarity. There'll be a handicap emblem that says if you want to utilize the funicular on days it's closed, contact this number. It also provides a website instead of just the phone number. The one thing that it will do is ensure that the policy remains in place unless a future council adopts a different resolution to substantively change it or to terminate it. So our recommendation is that you adopt the resolution, which is attached to the staff report. And Ms. Ward, I'm not sure what resolution number that would be. If you could provide that, that'd be helpful.
Well, for the evening, it'll be number 1. So it'll be 14-12-02-01 for the evening.
So that concludes our staff report. And Mr. Rose is here if you have any questions about the funicular operations and how the policy has worked.
Are there any questions of staff by council? Does anybody in the audience want to make a comment, since this is an item that's just been added? Seeing no volunteers, I open and close the public comment. And any further discussion or call for the vote? Any motion?
Mayor Pro Tem, if there's no further discussion, I'd move the city attorney's recommended action.
I'll second it.
Okay, call for the vote.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Olvera?
Aye.
Councilmember Schoeffel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg?
Aye.
That motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Now to item 1B, the storm drain repair.
Mr. Mayor, the city discovered this morning that there is a storm drain in the Lantern District, generally between Formosa and Zarzito Drive, that a portion of the storm drain has collapsed. The city manager's spending authority is only $35,000. The amount of funds that will take to repair the collapse is more than that. We don't know for sure what it will be, but it's an emergency item that needs to be addressed, especially with the rainy season now upon us. So staff is asking for your authorization to proceed with the repairs on a no-bid basis due to the emergency conditions, pursuant to some policies we have dealing with those types of situations. And as city manager alluded to earlier, we think that if we go with a not to exceed $250,000, that will far and exceed any amount that we might need, and ensure that we don't have to stop the work to come back for further authorization. The actual guesstimate is probably closer to $100,000, so that should be plenty of funding. The funds would come from the general fund reserves, as I understand it. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you. Any questions of staff by council? Any people in the audience want to comment? I'll open and close the public hearing, bring about to the council for discussion or a motion.
Pro Tem, I'll move the action.
Second?
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Olvera?
Aye.
Councilmember Schoeffel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries 3-0.
Okay. Now we have the published consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the city council, the public, or staff request specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Does staff want to remove any items?
None this evening, sir.
Do members of the council want to remove any? Do we have any public comments on any of
None.
them?
Thank you.
None?
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could record an abstention on item number 2, and we take the vote, the meeting minutes of the last meeting.
Okay, so noted.
Okay?
Um,
Otherwise, I would move the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
Call for the vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Olvera?
Aye.
Councilmember Schoeffel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg?
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 3-0.
Whoops, I'm falling apart here. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances?
Not tonight. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Typically, I forget them, and then you say we have some. Next up is public comments. There will be a 3-minute time limit per person and an overall time limit of 15 minutes for this public comment portion of the agenda. At the Mayor Pro Tem's discretion, the balance of the public comments will be heard after the new business portion of the agenda. All comments are to be directed to the City Council and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on a specific item unless it appears on the posted agenda. If you have any handouts, please hand them to the city clerk. First speaker is Dennis Chase, followed by Paula Becker.
My name is Dennis Chase. I live on Blue Lantern. I've lived in Dana Point for 20 years. Last February, I was run down crossing Del Prado by a woman driving backwards in an SUV. I was knocked to the ground, knocked unconscious. My legs were run over. The police came, interviewed different people at the scene. I have requested repeatedly copies of those witness statements. I have not received them. I've inquired with Russ Chilton, Patrick Munoz, and Councilman Shuffle. Now, I don't know why I cannot get these witness statements. I need them to go forward. I believe the City Council has the authority to require the police to release those witness statements. I need them, please, by close of business on Friday. It's very important to me. My grandchildren ask me, why can't you cross the street without getting run down? Didn't you look? The woman forgot 2 pillows at Timeless Teak and was driving backwards the wrong way down the street. I was knocked 10 to 15 feet. I could have been killed. This is a very important issue to me. Now, if you folks have the authority, I ask you to please produce these documents. I've hired an investigator. We've been able to track down some of the witnesses. They tell a totally different story than the one that was brought up in the police report. They say that because I crossed the sidewalk outside of a crosswalk, I was therefore at fault. The sidewalk was closed at the time due to road construction. I was very careful. I never dreamed I would get blindsided. Now, I've given you a statement. I've also produced the state law. I am entitled to those witness statements. That's the law. There's no need to hire an attorney. There's no reason to debate this. Now, I need these witness statements. Please help me get them.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor Weinberg, if I
Yes.
could just provide a brief response. Mr. Munoz attempted to call Mr. Chase, but unfortunately wasn't able to get a hold of him today. He's since sent an email communication to him indicating that, one, the council does not have the authority to review, modify those police reports, but what Mr. Munoz has done in the email is provided Mr. Chase with the appropriate contact at the Orange County Sheriff's Department Traffic Office, and there's a protocol for Mr. Chase to follow that they can tell him what that is if he wishes to receive copies or provide any type of amended statements. If I recall correctly, there was it took some time for this police report to be finalized, but if Mr. Chase calls the number that was provided to him, they should be able to help him out.
My point to the council is I have tried several different
Sir, you're out of order.
avenues.
You've had your chance to speak. It's not a debate.
Thank you, sir. Paula Becker, followed by Heather Johnson.
Hi, good evening, council members. My name is Paula Becker, and I'm a resident of Dana Point. I volunteer with Pet Project Foundation, PPF, an all-volunteer nonprofit organization supporting the San Clemente Dana Point Animal Shelter, and I'd like to take you on a tour of PPF and what we do for your community. Pet Project Foundation pays for all medical for the animals temporarily housed at the San Clemente Dana Point Animal Shelter. This amounts to over $300,000 annually. In addition, we help pay for a highly skilled dog trainer who readies the dogs for their forever homes. We pay for a portion of our kennel attendant salaries, special food, and many items needed to socialize the dogs, cats, and rabbits. A rescue mission, known as ARM, consists of our going to high-kill shelters to rescue dogs and sometimes cats who would be euthanized just because that shelter has no space for them. We bring them to our shelter so that we can provide our citizens pets to adopt. To help contain the overpopulation of cats in our community, we have a trap, neuter, return program wherein we help residents of San Clemente and Dana Point catch community cats and get them spayed or neutered. We also support the residents with rebates for getting their own pets spayed and neutered. And through a partnership with Estrella Veterinary Clinic, we fund spays and neuters for the pets of the area Marines. How do we do all this? Through donations, membership dues, and events. And donations. Did I mention donations? Donations. Okay. The Dana Point Harbor Merchants Association has invited Santa Claus to the harbor for Santa Paws pet photos, where you can have your pet's picture taken with Santa for a donation to PPF. This event will be held on Saturday, December 13 from 10 to 3 in front of El Torito Restaurant. The Wagathon is moving back into the Festival of Whales on Saturday, March 7, 2015. As the animal rescue community in our nation struggles to achieve a no-kill status in animal shelters, Pet Project Foundation's commitment since 1983 has been to find homes for the animals in its care. Killing an adoptable, healthy dog, cat, or rabbit just is not in our vocabulary. It is through the support you, the city, have given us that helps us to achieve our mission. I invite each of our new council members to call PPF to arrange a tour of your shelter. We are proud and want to strut. Keep your eyes on our website, petprojectfoundation.org, to keep abreast of our events and, more importantly, to find your best friend. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Pet Project Foundation, thank you to the past members for your support. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you. And Kathy has stuff for everybody.
Okay, thank you. Heather Johnson. And following Heather is Penny Maynard.
Heather Johnston with the Dana Point Chamber of Commerce. I'm up here tonight to say thank you to the people that helped us run a successful turkey trot. This is our 37th year, and the event, I think, has gotten better and better each year, and this year was the best. I wanted to do a special thank you to the Dana Point Harbor, Doheny State Beach, Orange County Sheriff. Thank you so much for all your help. We really do appreciate you and your staff. Doctors Ambulance, city staff has been fantastic with us as well, and for city council. As you know, the support of Turkey Trot and the Dana Point Chamber has always been very well received and welcomed from City Council. So thank you again for being such great proponents of the Chamber of Commerce. Finally, I wanted to say a big thank you to former Mayor Bartlett. Won't say goodbye because we'll be working with you very closely as a supervisor. Former Councilman Bill Bro, we'll be working with him as well. And Mayor Pro Tem Weinberg, if you're looking for something to do, we would love to have you volunteer at the chamber. So again, thank you so much for all your support. Because of your support, we are a happy and financially solvent chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. I'll send you my resume sometime, or just look for it in the mail. Penny Maynard, followed by Richard Carr.
My name is Penny Maynard, and I'm an 18.5-year resident of Dana Point. I was the executive of the Dana Point Chamber of Commerce for 11 years. I love this community, and I'm proud of the manner by which this city has been managed, both by the city council and city staff. I'm here to thank the outgoing members of the city council, Stephen Weinberg, Bill Bro, and Lisa Bartlett, for their service to this community, and to welcome the 3 new members, John Tomlinson, Joe Muller, and Rick Visaric. I want to congratulate Bill Bro for his election to the Assembly, and for Lisa Bartlett in her election as our 5th District Supervisor. I was at her swearing in today, and it was a very proud moment. We have been fortunate to have had Lisa's dedication, intelligence, and commitment to service during her 8 years on the City Council. With her election to the new office, she will bring these attributes to the entire County of Orange. I have been so proud to have her as representative on the City Council, and I know she will more than fulfill her duties and will serve as our supervisor in a manner of which we all will be proud. Congratulations, Lisa. I'd also want to congratulate Diane Harkey, who has been term limited as Assemblywoman, for her election to the Board of Equalization. Thank you. Thanks all of you. You're all wonderful. This city is the best. I love it. Thanks.
Thank you, Penny. Anybody else you want to throw in? Next up is Richard Carr.
Hello, Council. My name is Richard Carr. I moved to this city in August of '86, and I think it's one of the best places in the world to live. I raised a family here, 2 young children, And because of people like you that have dedicated your time, and the past mayors and the city councils, you've done a fantastic job. You know, visitors or old friends call me and they'll say, "Where do you live?" And Dana Point, where's that? And I'm like, "Well, we're between Laguna Beach and San Clemente," and they got an idea. And I'm like, "Well, read 2 years before the mast." But I'm like, this is one of the best kept secrets in the world, and it's because of the dedication that you people put in. The city council here, you have to compromise with so many people, and you're pulled in so many directions. I can't imagine how much time you give, and I just want to give you my heartfelt thanks. And because of you, this place is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I don't have any more speakers, so we'll close the public comments. There is no public hearing. There's no unfinished business. There's no new business. I guess you're up, Lisa. Recognition of outgoing city council members. I guess we're all up. Yeah. Let me keep this so I can keep track.
Tim Weinberg and I are leaving the city council. We ran together 8 years ago and thought, you know, it's going to be great. We're going to get a lot of great things done for the city, and we've done so much in the last 8 years, some great accomplishments. So we look forward to great things in the future. I want to thank Stephen for all of his hard work and effort. He also served as a key member in leadership as chairman for the Orange County Fire Authority during his 8-year term on the city council. And Fire Authority is a major regional board, and it's like sometimes it's like herding cats. They've got a lot of elected officials on that board, a lot going on. But Stephen worked very well with the elected officials. They made a lot of great decisions and got a lot of great things done for the Orange County Fire Authority. So Stephen, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to serve with you the past 8 years. I know you're going to still stay active in the community. I know you're going to sign up with Heather at the chamber. I'm really excited about that. And the 8 years have gone by so quickly. You know, it's nice that we get elected to council, but then over time, you know, we get to know each other and get to be friends and do things in the community, go out after the council meetings and chat. And it's really nice because Dana Point is such a small-knit community. Everybody here knows each other, and it's what makes our community really special. So seeing people like Stephen and the 3 that we have that are going to be sworn in shortly, it's nice to see people stepping up to the plate, getting involved in our community, and wanting to get great things done for the city of Dana Point. You know, we've got a lot of projects in progress right now with Town Center, the harbor, and hopefully soon to be Doheny Village. So, you know, as Stephen and I roll off the council, the legacy that we leave behind, we've got major projects underway, and the 3 new council members will work with the 2 existing council members to get Doheny Village moving forward. So we've got exciting things going forth in the city, and I'm really excited. But like I said, it's bittersweet rolling off the council, and we've had a great time up here, and we look forward to doing more good things in the future. But we'll stay very involved in the community. I know Stephen's going to do that as well. So, Stephen, I'd like to have you say a few words, and then we're going to bring up a few folks to give you some proclamations.
Well, as Lisa said, it's a bittersweet to be leaving the council. People come up to me and said, you know, how do you like working on a city council or serving on a city council? And my comment is very simple. It's a blast. And the reason I say that is, you know, we get a lot of stuff done. Somebody once said, all government starts at the local level. And at the local level, things happen. You end up with 5 councilmen that I've served with. Can you be a councilman? I guess councilwomen also. And we've got a lot done. As Lisa said, we got Town Center kicked off. We've probably got some of the best infrastructure in South County, if not the state of California. Our roads don't have potholes. Our sewers work, our storm drains work, and if they don't work, we fix them post-haste. So it's been a pleasure serving this community for the last 8 years, and 4 years before that on the Planning Commission. And don't know what I'll do next, but it's not going to be for higher office, that's for darn sure. That crazy I'm not. And I also, I'd like to stay married to the same woman I've been married to for blank years, and spend more time with my grandkids and my daughters and their respective others. So I will keep myself occupied doing something. Don't know what it is yet, but I thank everybody on the staff. I thank everybody in the community for the support they've given me, and I look forward to doing something, different in the future. Thank you.
When it comes to higher office, Stephen, never say never. You just never know about that. Right. I know. You tell me you never buy green bananas. I know. One of the other things that Steve and I leave behind as part of our legacy, we, along with the other council members, are very proud. Dana Point is one of 6 cities in the state of California that has no unfunded pension liability. We paid that off in 2009. We have a balanced budget every year. We have no debt, and we have cash reserves. So that's part of the legacy we leave behind, and we're really proud of that, too. At this time, I'd like to call up Orange County Fire Authority Battalion Chief Carl Schmutz to come up and make a presentation to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of Jeff Bowman, the Fire Chief for the Orange County Fire Authority, to recognize Stephen for his 6 years of service on our board of directors. He served as both a board member and also the chairman of our board. And as Supervisor Bartlett stated, it's a very large organization that has not only local responsibility, but statewide, nationally, and international responsibilities. So through Steve's leadership the last 6 years has been vital. His leadership and also his caring and support of our firefighters and our staff at headquarters. He's a guy that'll show up at the fire stations, I know here locally, and talk to the guys and stress to them that he's there for them. So we really appreciate your leadership and friendship for these years, and you're going to be missed. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. As Lisa said, the fire authority is made up of 23 cities and the County of Orange. County of Orange has 2 board directors, which makes 25 members. And what's interesting about it is every 2 years, about half the board of directors turn over because they're voted out of office, they have term limits, what have you. And it is truly like herding a herd of feral cats. Whatever they're called. I'm an engineer, not an English major. So thank you, and thank Jeff for me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up Orange County Sheriff's Department, our Chief of Police, Russ Chilton.
Thank you, Supervisor Bartlett. Sheriff Hutchins would like to be here tonight. She was unable to attend. She asked that Assistant Sheriff Lee Trujillo come and present a token of her appreciation to Mayor Weinberg's service. Let me grab these. I'm going to turn the mic over to Assistant Sheriff Lee Trujillo.
Well, sir, on behalf of Sheriff Sandra Hutchins and the men and women of the Orange County Sheriff's Department, I'd like to thank you very much for your partnership. And, we look at our relationship with the community, and we take great pride in delivering top-level service to this community. And it's, of course, it takes a team to do it right. And we appreciate your friendship and your partnership, your leadership. Thank you very much.
And there you go. We have another one for Supervisor Bartlett.
Supervisor Bartlett, we look forward to continue working with you. And again, on behalf of Sheriff Sandra Hutchins and the Orange County Sheriff's Department, thank you very much for your friendship and your partnership as we served Dana Point. Thank you.
This time I'd like to call up Jody Vaughn, who has some presentations to make.
I'm Jody Vaughn, District Director for Assemblywoman Diane Harkey, and now board member for the Board of Equalization. And this city is near and dear to Diane Harkey's heart because she lives here and was on the council at one time. And she would like to present these certificates to Steve and to Lisa to thank you for your service, because truly a council member is a public servant, and it is a public service that they do. As one of your citizens already mentioned, it's a difficult job. You're out there for all the slings and arrows. You get paid very little, but I know that the two of them truly enjoyed their jobs and did their best. And so also on behalf of Mimi Walters, Senator Mimi Walters, who is now your Congresswoman, I'd like to present these certificates from Senator Mimi Walters and past Assembly member Diane Harkey. Thank you very much for your service and wish you much luck in the future.
Thank you.
Give this over to. Oh, no, do I have? Yes. More to add to our collection. Well, yeah, I'm going to give Stephen his. Now we get to the fun part. We have a proclamation from the City of Dana Point. This is a certificate of recognition for Stephen H. Weinberg. And I won't read all the whereas clauses, but I will read, let's see, whereas during the years he has served the community, he has displayed exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community by working tirelessly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development, and in particular as Vice Chairman of the Dana Point Planning Commission, Chairman of the Orange County Fire Authority, Director of the Orange County Vector Control District, Ocean Water Quality Subcommittee, and on the Board of Directors of the Dana Point Cycling Foundation, which has proven to be of great assistance to the community over these years. So as you can tell, Stephen's been very, very involved these last 8 years on the Dana Point City Council, very involved on a regional basis, which is wonderful. So now, therefore, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Dana Point, I, Lisa A. Bartlett, former mayor, hereby express sincere appreciation to Stephen H. Weinberg for his distinguished service to the city of Dana Point. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lisa. I get a city tile?
Anyway,
It's the hook.
you get that too.
Yeah.
Okay. We were going to ask Lisa to give her own proclamation to herself. But we figured if she did that, it'd be 6 pages long. Lisa, we've served on the city council for 8 years, 2 years on the planning commission, you with an alternate. We've run together twice. I think it's been an enjoyable experience serving on this council for the last 8 years. It's been a productive council. It's been one that, under your leadership as mayor twice, we've got a lot of stuff done. And I think the community can be proud of you for what you've done at the city, and more proud of winning the 5th supervisory district. As my colleague this morning said at her swearing in, Dana Point has nothing to be ashamed of. We've got somebody on the Board of Equalization, we have somebody in the California State Assembly, and we have a supervisor. And that's not bad for a town of 30-some thousand people. We can be proud that this is a good training ground, has a great staff that keeps us out of trouble, at least kept you out of trouble. I'll read roughly, Lisa's been involved in a lot of things over the years. During the years she has served the community, she has displayed exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community by working tirelessly for the betterment of its economic, culture, and aesthetic development, and in particular her service on the Investment Review Committee, Transportation Corridor Agency, League of California Cities, Orange County Division, Association of California Cities, Orange County, and SCAG, which is the Southern California Association of Governments, which has proved to be a great assistance to the community over the years. And what is missing, I believe you've been chair of TCA once or twice over the years, and I had the fire authority that has its problems. TCA's had its opportunities, both financial and operationally, and from the CEO level. So in some respects, we had two agencies that are very, very similar over the past few years. And it gives me great honor, and I'm proud of you. And being my age, I can say, I'm proud of you, kid. You've done a great job. And I need to give you a tile, something for you to put your coffee pot on, your string beans, or whatever happens to be hot. This is the gavel that you wielded. Looks like it got bent a little bit here and there, which we'll straighten. But this gavel is given to Lisa A. Bartlett, Mayor, City of Dana Point, December 2013 to December 2014. Lisa, put it in your office. It should be a good moment for you, knowing that you've been mayor now twice. Thank you. Okay.
It's an awful lot to carry. Well, these 8 years have gone by very, very quickly, and I've really enjoyed my time. Dana Point, I've lived here for 26 years. It's a fantastic community. We've got 35,000 residents. Dana Point is small but mighty. A lot of good people come out of this city and move on to higher office, and I'm really excited about the Board of Supervisors. But we've done so much over the years. In 2009, we completed and dedicated, when I was mayor, the Dana Point Bridge. And when we had that project on our council agenda, I remember people saying, that'll be the bridge to nowhere. Why don't you take the money and spend it on something else? And they didn't understand why we wanted this great entry to our city. But we pushed forth as a council, made the right decision. We had a grant funding for the entire program, for the street widening and for the bridge. And when it was finished, we dedicated that bridge in 2009. And I can tell you that as it stands today, we get more compliments that we now have a great city with a fantastic Dana Point Bridge as you enter the city. Now it's decorated for the holidays, and it really sends a statement and a message to the community out there. But those are some of the tough decisions that the council members make. We got a lot of flack for it when we voted that in on the city council. So over the years, we've had some tough decisions and some challenging times, but we made the right decisions, and I think our city is much better for it. The T-bid is another thing. It's probably one of the best things we've ever done for our city. Our T-bid now is putting on the $1 million Illumination Spectacular in the harbor. So go down to one of our 4 hotels, the DoubleTree, the Marriott, the Ritz-Carlton, or the St. Regis, get your 3D glasses, and then go down to the harbor and take a look at all of the lighted displays. It's really quite phenomenal. So Dana Point's really on the map now as an international resort destination, and I'm so happy to have been part of that process over the last 8 years to really put our city out there where visitors want to come back time and time again. Businesses come here for conventions, and we're getting a lot of additional revenue for the hotels and businesses in the city. So we've really come into our own over the last 8 years, but we could not have done all of that without the City Council, first of all, and our Planning Commission, but also I want to thank all of our city staff. When you take a look at our city staff, it's truly second to none. We have people who have been here many, many years at the city of Dana Point, and they do so much more than just a typical 9-to-5 job. These are people who care about our community. When we have an emergency, I can't tell you how many times I drive around Dana Point and I'll see Matt Sinacori in a neon slicker out there at 11 o'clock at night, and our city manager out there somewhere else in the city if there's something important going on. We have people who are so dedicated to our community. They get out there, they're on call 24/7, and that's part of what makes our city really special. So we don't have a lot of turnover in staff here. People come to Dana Point and they stay here, whether they're residents or whether they come on our city staff. So it's something our city can be proud of. We've got a great track record in office, and I'm glad to have been part of that. Now I'm looking forward to moving on to the next phase of my elected life as your 5th District Supervisor. I will continue to have an open door policy like I did in Dana Point. I probably will not put my cell phone number, though, on my card, because instead of going to represent a district or a city of 35,000, my district has 650,000 residents in it. So I will have that open door policy, though. Anybody can call up at my office, give me a call, and come and meet with me for coffee. Would love to chat with everyone and know what's going on in every community out there in the 5th District. So again, I really enjoyed my time here serving on the Dana Point City Council, and I look forward to serving as your 5th District Supervisor. I'm really honored to be elected. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. One closing comment, and then I'm going to get out of here. I wish the three of you, Rick, John, and Joe, the best. I'll give you the same piece of advice they gave me when I came in here 8 years ago. Don't screw it up. It's working. So, hey, to that, thank you for the great 8 years. It's been fun. It's been a blast. Thanks.
Yep. Mayor Pro Tem is now finishing his last duties, which is taking all of his items home.
Can't start until Stephen vacates the dais.
And following this, we are going to administer the oath of office to our new council members. And it's a special evening for this. We are going to have our new 5th District Supervisor actually administer the oath. So if I could ask our new council members come up, please. Joe, Rick. Yes. Got it ready for you. This is the one in reading. Okay. I'm going to come up there with you. So Lisa, you can do it from there or you can do it from here, whatever your preference is.
Right, please raise your right hand as I administer the oath of office to you. At the end, you may say, "I do" or "I will." Do you, John, Joe, and Rick, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter. Congratulations to our new City Council members. Why don't you be seated at the dais?
Do you know where?
So council members, our next item of business is to reorganize, which is a fancy way of saying appoint a mayor and a mayor pro tem. Since you don't have a current mayor or mayor pro tem to lead the meeting, it's our suggestion that we simply have the city clerk take nominations from you for the position of mayor. And once you've appointed a mayor, then that person can take over running the meeting for the purpose of taking nominations for Mayor Pro Tem. Especially in that you're brand new and for the most part may not know how the process works, you're free to nominate. We have as many nominations as you like, and once all the nominations are out there, then we can have a vote on the matter.
All right, members of the City Council, I would like to take nominations for the vote of mayor.
Do I press this button here?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to nominate Councilman Olvera for mayor.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All right, any other nominations, or we're going to call for the vote? All right, I'm going to do roll call voting, so if you just say aye after I call your name, or nay. Councilmember Mueller.
Aye.
Councilmember Olvera.
Aye.
Councilmember Vizorek, and I probably messed that up. Councilmember Schoeffel.
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson. 5-0, we have a new mayor. Congratulations, Councilmember Olvera.
The guy who had the seat before left a mess.
In no way reflection of the city, I might add.
I think I found my spot. What we'll do now is go for the election or selection of the mayor pro tem, and I'll take the opportunity of nominating John Tomlinson as our top vote getter as mayor pro tem.
I'll second that.
All right, call for the vote.
Any other nominations? Then I'll call for the vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Mueller.
Aye.
Councilmember Vizorek.
Aye.
Mayor Olvera.
Aye.
Ooh, Councilmember Schoeffel.
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson. Aye. And we have a new mayor pro tem.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Holy cats. No, let's stay where you're at. Just stay. That's good.
So from here on in, we'll just kind of wing it, right? Next item on the agenda is to go through our staff reports and then the council comments. So I'll start with our city manager, Doug Chalkevis. You have anything to report?
I have nothing to report other than to wish the public a very happy holiday season and to congratulate our new city council, Mayor Olvera, Mayor Pro Tem Tomlinson, Councilmember Mueller, Vizorek, Schoeffel. Good luck, and the staff is really looking forward to working with you for the next 4 years. Thank you very much.
Mr. Munoz, anything you would like to add?
Nothing other than to echo the city manager's comments and to congratulate our new council members, and also to personally congratulate Supervisor Bartlett. It was a pleasure being at her swearing-in ceremony this morning.
And this time I'll go through the city council. For those that are new here, at the end of the council, it's an opportunity for the city council members to make any comments that they wish to the public this time. Plus, when attending city meetings, the city clerk likes for us to report those meetings. So I'll start off at the end with Mayor Pro Tem Tomlinson. Say thank you.
I'm kind of new at this, so I'm just getting my feet wet. But yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all those in attendance tonight. Thank you to my family, my beautiful wife, Lori. Thank you, all the city staff, for working so diligently to make the city a great place. And thank you for all the council members who donate their time to make Dana Point a great place. Thank you.
Councilman Schoeffel.
Thank you, Mayor Olvera. I'd just like to wish City of Dana Point, all of our neighbors down here in South Orange County and throughout the county, the very happiest of holidays. There's a lot of events going on, as Supervisor Bartlett mentioned, and what I'm sure won't be her last report from here. So get out, enjoy our great community, and we'll see you next year.
Councilman Mueller.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here tonight, especially my wife and my two kids who, it's way past your bedtime, guys, and we still have homework to do, but you're not getting out of it. And also thank them for their patience with me during the campaign, and hopefully they'll continue to exhibit that patience for me in the future as we're on the council. I also like to thank the past council and the current council for all the great work that they did in getting Dana Point to the position it's in today. It truly is a great city, and also to thank the staff. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Just the small amount of time that I've had to work with you during the campaign, I'm really looking forward to continuing our work together into the future. Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel Vexort.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank the people of Dana Point for entrusting us with this position. I'm really looking forward to getting to work for the city. I want to thank the staff. I know we have an excellent staff. I'm really excited about working with you and continuing to move the city forward. And of course, I would like to thank above and all my wife and my family for helping me and putting up with the campaign, and couldn't have been done without her. And I want to congratulate the new city council members, and I want to congratulate Mayor Olvera. I look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my peers for selecting me to represent the city as mayor. It's truly an honor, as all those have preceded me in being mayor. We're finishing up our 25th year. We've had, what you're looking at now is the 25th of elected council members to the city council. So it's kind of caught up with the year of our incorporation. So each of us have an opportunity to do the best we can for the city that we love. I'd like to thank also my wife, who has been a very encouraging to me. I'm sure when I get home, Mayor Schmayer, you put the garbage out in the morning. For my meetings, I'd like to report that on November the 20th, I attended the Festival of Wales organization meeting, and then also at the 4th Annual Orange County Business Council, where our city staff received a honorable mention for our award for the T-bids. And November the 27th, I was at the Turkey Trot, along with then Mayor, now Supervisor Bartlett. So with that said, I will adjourn this meeting of the City Council to January the 20th, 2015 at 5 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Adjourned.